There's a little twist you can do when you split wood. Like, you don't really need to go full power with it. As you come down, you just flick the head like that.
On one side, sort of.
It just stops you kind of going all the way through. I'll let you do that though.
Yeah,
I won't do it all.
This is
This is mine. That's the
oh god, don't break this then.
classic Hunter. Well, you know, if you break
it feels like a toy,
a
after
toy
that thing.
compared to that. Yeah, I know. Where you want to aim, I know. It's just like in the front of it there. With the splitting wall, it's not so bad. Oh dear. Yeah, that was a beautiful strike. Yeah, right, perfect spot really. Straight down the middle. There's the pith. You know, well, heartwood even. It's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, I'll deal with it and leave the washing up to the morning.
Yeah, square. I've got one at this end. There.
Right, so let's get the first one.
I don't really know anyone else who does it that way.
That's a good idea.
Normally they just sharpen from one way.
A bit of stem again.
You know, try it out every now and then on that, and just see how you.
I'll give them up a bit of one more.
No, seriously, it's just a horrible little thing. So, right, how you doing?
It's alright. It's a good practice.
Yeah, lovely.
Nice.
Yeah, you've done a really lovely job with that.
Just throwing it away. So it's like,
I mean, if I could work in it, I can't. Secret chopper.
I don't recommend using it on the tips of your fingers, but it's,
I've been using it on a laptop, that being really sharp.
you want to be stringing this up really. Now there are a number of ways in which you can string a bow like this up. You want a good paracord if you're going to use paracord. There are other cords you can use, but what I tend to do when I string a bow is I do it in a way which people would mostly disagree with. But that's not to say that what I'm doing is wrong. I guess it's just a different way of doing it, and as you can probably see, just going to tie an overhand knot just here, like that. So we have the curve this side here, we have the string. String's waxed. I do have some beeswax in there that you will need definitely for this. I can't imagine doing it without beeswax, if I'm honest. And you really want it to bite the actual drill. Hear that? Just goes in like this on the inside, twist back and then hold like that. And then place in like that, just getting in position where, you know, is my knee comfortable? You know, you want your body weight kind of over the top. This arm's going to be pretty straight, a lot of it's going to be in the wrist. Suddenly the feeling changes, you can feel like a grating, and then we've burnt the surfaces in. So clean the windows. Louis.
Too tight, Mike.
No, it's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's okay. So we won't all do it here. What we'll do is we'll spread out. Right.
That far enough?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so you'll just have a circle back there.
Yeah.
Nice little V on it. Sure you take some less material too. Zip all out.
He was hoping no one noticed.
Okay, we'll keep all of this block. So you want to slow down a lot.
I think it's slipping.
The drill?
Yeah, because if I push hard, it slips.
Are you going full Brock Lesnar on it?
Well, I was starting off slow, nothing was happening.
No?
And then I push and it slips, and I have to go faster.
Quite a lot of resin coming out. So at the woodland's edge, we'll go take a look in a sec. You've got dry material like this. This is inner bark, so it's a bit trickier to find. You collect those, keep them in a pocket, even in a jacket, so they dry out as you walk if they've a tiny bit of dampness to them. And you just really want to gather lots of this. And a nice thing to do is get a little stick as well, and you can get loads of the stuff. I mean, look at that piece coming out there. You just get it all in. And what you're making is basically like a woodland cotton wool and Vaseline ball. It basically bursts into flames when it combines, it's exposed to the oxygen in the air. So that's essentially what's happening there. That's why we're getting these sparks. And I'd say you're probably looking about 700 to 800 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not immensely hot compared to our fire steel, but it is still very, very hot. Okay, I'll get my feathers on because I'm a bit distrusting in what I've just witnessed. Yeah, we've got a bit of damp going on, and it's just not sort of happening for us. In wet weather like this, you have to be a little bit more patient. Struggling. Looks easy on the videos, doesn't it? So, but this is the reality of it. Sometimes it is very difficult. And once we get that going, we really don't want to wait around. We just want that on straight away. And we keep a close eye on it. We've got some smoke billowing out of the top, which is a good sign. This means the fuel wood is actually being burnt by the flames. They're touching the fuel wood's touching the flame. It's burning. We'll just pick that up a bit. You can see I was losing it there just slightly, but by picking it up very slightly, it just brightens that little bit for us. So although we struggled a little bit to get that going, now you can see the flame. It's in the smoke, dancing away. Yeah, it's established. And then what we would do then, it doesn't really end there. If it was a real fire, we would have to have prepared wood like this to go on. You can pick it up, move it around, put it somewhere else. Obviously you don't always need to do that, but it's nice to have control of it. That's the idea, you know, it's good to have control of it. Pressure's gone. We've honoured the fire gods. Just. There we go, so there's our fire. And we just run the knife down really slowly like that, really slowly, but just don't even dig it in. Don't even dig it in. That's it, and go back up. actually.
Let's get the rosemary and paint. Cross the juniper in there.
How's it feeling? Not good? Yeah. Starting, your muscle memory starting to, yeah, really nice. Beautiful. Look at that. Professional feathers.
Oh, safe as well, yes. So what we need to do is put 2 rips in each piece.
That's really good. Nice one.
Just a little tear, isn't it?
Doing really well. You recording?
Yeah.
Oh, you are. What we do prior to preparation is to ensure that we keep the meat clean. And one thing I like to do is just going out with the knife or the sword and just chop a few branches, just some small ones, and just make yourself a little bit of a bed on the ground of some foliage. And it just keeps things clean, but at the same time, it's just a nice thing to do, really. If you're going out shooting, and let's say you take a pigeon and then you want to know what they're potentially feeding on that time of year, you just split the crop at the top like that, and you can see effectively what they've been feeding on, like various grains and things, just in the crop there. But what we can do now, if you have a look at mine, is you can see this central plate here. You know, you see the bone. I'll show you the non-knife method on this guy because he's a bit bigger, and this one's the stock dart. So what we do is we just run the knife down the breastplate like that. You'll see a real dark meat. You see that? Real dark meat. You want to go down the side of that leg there as well, just to separate it. And then basically what we have is a breast like that. And you can see we've left a bit of meat behind. We've also got a hole where the bullet's gone through, but that's not a problem. And you can keep that skin on, or you can take the skin off. If we take the skin off this one here, you'll see that it's like a really dark meat, basically, like a little piece of steak, and it is really good.
I'm amazed it's red. I just assumed it'd be like chicken.
Yeah. No, the thing is about this, you know, a wild bird like this, you'll see it on the pheasant, because they're out in the wild, moving all the time and flying. All the blood goes to the muscle. So I mean, if you sort of like dissected Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, he'd probably be red as well. He'd be, you know, tender, delicious shape. And I made it just really as an example for you, so if you ever attempt one, you have that visualisation. You won't have time to make it, but basically, if you're out in a group, one of the nicest shelters you can make is a group shelter with a communal fire, with a central fire. This is the centre of the shelter. So we have some Ys hammered into the ground like this, and they create our central column of the shelter now, because this represents the maximum height of the roof of our shelter, these crossbars here. So what I tend to do is build something called a post driver, which is usually much bigger than this and of a not green wood, because, you know, green wood splits easy. A nice seasoned hard wood. You pop it in the ground like this, you smack it in, and when it's all the way in, it gives you the ability to start turning it with these handles, and then you can pull it out. Yeah. And then what you do is you get your post, you drop it in, and if it's dropped in that far, it's not going to go anywhere. You do the same with the other corresponding posts. And the size of your shelter really is indicated by how many central columns you have. So let's say you want to do a 5-man, I'd recommend actually having 5 or maybe more central columns. This would probably situate 3 at the absolute squeeze because you've got 3 sides to it, you see. And one side has to be open to get in. So ideally 4 would probably be a 3-man. Natural cordage everywhere in the ground here. But what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate to you. It is a really, really useful cordage. And you can just simply take the cord as well and put your knife on it on the centre of a piece of cord like that. You split it down and you start working it like that, and the 2 fingers keep the join. You see it's starting to go off to one side, so what we need to do is tip the other side down like that, and that brings it back into the centre again, you see, as we start working with it. But anyway, let's end it there. And we can actually now start using that to lash things together. And you can make this cord really long. Well, I say make it, you can find it really long. With the power of your mind. You can obviously lash it together. And the nice thing about it is if you lash it together correctly, it's really strong. It very rarely ever breaks. And the nice thing is once it dries, it constricts very slightly and it goes rock hard. So it sets in place nice and hard, and you've got some lashing there to reinforce your shelter. You can put little shelves in there, you know, collect things that you find, you know, maybe like Kinder Egg toys, or you know, bits of lost the plot. You know, like yeah, that's it. Yeah, petrol station things. But basically, you can put bracket fungi and stuff on there. And on your bow drill kit, and the thermal wall is a wicked way of drying clothes and things you find in the woods. Yeah, really good. You can make some cool camps, and on a more advanced course we would do that. Probably sleep in a group shelter, try and get 2 of them built and do something like that.